So I'm here with Daedelus. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Starting off, where were you from?
I'm from Santa Monica, California, actually.
Yeah.
Um, I sometimes say Los Angeles, and I've sometimes lied quite other places,
Mhm.
but those are generally lies. Santa Monica is the truth.
Well, LA area, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah. Who have you been your biggest influences, both now and when you first started making music or getting interested in it?
Sure. A lot. When I was first really getting serious about music, I was really jazz-minded.
Mhm.
So people like Charles Mingus or Charlie Mingus, however you want to say it, John Coltrane, Thelonious Monk, especially. Um, those people weighed heavily in terms of the kind of compositions I wanted to do when I quote unquote grew up when I was a young kid.
Mhm.
And then um, and then I was struck by a few things kind of hit me really hard. One was the rave music from the UK in the early '90s. I was a little bit. It was a little after the rave scene had kind of come and gone when I was really into it.
Mhm.
But just the way music traveled a little, just even a few years ago, was a little slower. And so I got that music a few years late, but it hit me really hard as a young person. So somewhere between jazz and that was a big musical revelation. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, around that same time, I was discovering a fellow named Beau Brummel who lived in the early 19th century.
Yeah.
And he was kind of a fashion icon more than a musician by any means, or no, not a musician at all.
Mhm.
But some of his philosophies on life were really revolutionary to me. One of them being that everything is art. Everything you do is art of some kind. And so
Wow.
it's a nice sentiment I try to carry in life.
Cool. Um, is that kind of what inspired you to start making music, or like what?
Well, I certainly I certainly felt inspired to make music, but the reality of the situation is I've just been working towards music all my life, ever since I was really young, and I've rarely anything else that I've ever tried to hold on to. So it's less about wanting to be a musician and more having to be. Between the addiction of music making and the absolute bent will of this thing, I don't think I had any other choice. If I wasn't doing music, I often say this, but I really do feel it's true. If I wasn't doing music, I'd be dead.
Really? You think you would be dead?
Yeah.
So it's keeping
Thank
you
goodness it
alive.
worked out for
Yeah.
my continued existence so far. We'll see what happens. Maybe later something else will happen.
Well, that's good to hear you're alive. Let's see. I read somewhere that you used to feel alone in your musical taste when were younger. Do you still feel like that, or not
Yes.
at all? You do?
No, no. I mean, I feel very, very kindly that I've met this community of people that are doing amazing work, and it's not necessarily all from the same place or even similar sounds,
Mm.
but they all have a deep, abiding love for experimenting and making beautiful things occur.
Mm.
They have, this idea of beauty that's existing, even if it's dissonance. There's beauty in it. Unlike a lot of other electronic music, there's emotions and stuff. So I don't feel as alone anymore by any means. But
Okay.
like I said, with that rave music and jazz, I felt very lonely.
Yeah.
Not to mention bad hairstyles and out of date clothing and stuff never
Yeah.
helps a young man.
Oh. I also heard that you used to work at KSCR. How'd you like
Yeah,
it over there? What'd you think of it?
it was great. I mean, it was really the birthplace for my musical adventures later because a lot of the graduating class from KSCR, the people that were working there at the same time, went on to found an internet radio station called Dublab,
Mhm.
which has been hugely influential for the LA scene, just by connecting a lot of genres that would never have been connected previously: psychedelic music, psychedelic rock, especially electronic music, scratch DJ kind of people. Everything from the most acoustic folk music to the most electronic, dissonant, crazy noise has been all linked through this one website. And
Wow.
to be a member of that, maybe a founding member of that, I guess, and to kind of go on, that's where I first got my music played, pretty much. So
Awesome.
KSCR was hugely influential, and now it's known as KXSC. They just changed the name recently.
Oh yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's neat. Let's see. Oh, how would you like generalize the LA sound of electronic right now? Do you have any ideas about
There's a bravery to it. There's like a willingness to push, and that's one of the only things that characterizes it. Because you have everyone from like Eight Frozen Modules, who makes techno, to all the breakcore people like Sonic Death Rabbit, to and Dark Matter Sound System and all that stuff, and then you have Fly Low and Gaslamp Killer. And I mean, you could go on and on, all these different disparate things, and yet there's this experimentation in the bloodstream. People are trying to push each other. Low End Theory is, to me, at its best, is a place where you play something and you feel tested.
Mm-hmm.
You test your metal, you test the strength of your steel in that room. It's wonderful.
Wow, cool. Let's see. How did your collaboration with Gaslamp Killer come about, and your tour and all that?
Well, we knew we were going to be touring together, and we planned to have this kind of LA outing of artists in this way, kind of expressing some part of what LA is, just a fragment, a fraction of it, but still trying to put a strong idea together that we could tour the country and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And in all of its differences. And so the idea came about to maybe do a track together because everyone's musically minded, and Gaslamp has some amazing music out, but not very much. And we wanted to do something else to kind of give back to fans and stuff who may be interested in something really unique for the tour.
Yeah, so you've been playing your new track, the Impulse track, on your sets or during your tour?
Not yet, actually. I'm hoping to put it in really soon. I've just been kind of shy of it because I want to, again, it's like trying to give something really unique to people, and it's almost like if I played in my set, I would transform it like I do any of the music I put into my weird little machines.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want people to, when they hear that song, they hear it. There's something very special, I think, about not knowing what you're getting, but being excited about it, putting it on your turntable and taking the tone arm and scratchily starting it in the beginning and kind of seeing where it takes you.
Yeah.
And if I did play it, people probably, they wouldn't know what it was necessarily. I mean, there's an excitement to that as well, but there's something really cool about first times. I'll probably put it in the set, though. I'm feeling it this time.
Yeah,
I'm getting over my reservations.
Okay, well, moving on. What are you going to use for your live sets on tour? Anything different than usual?
I use this machine called a Monom, or
Mm-hmm.
Monomy, however you want to say it. And it's a fun device developed by this guy named Brian Crabtree and his wife, and they make them in upstate New York. And it's this music manipulation device. That's my main gig, I guess. It's my main thing, and I love them very much.
Awesome. Are there any stops on your tour that you're like extra excited about, or?
Well, I won't lie. I do have some side things I'm interested in, just as interests,
Mm-hmm.
not my heart and soul and stuff. But
Yeah.
I love food very much, and I love coffee very much.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in being in Portland right now, for instance, like it's an amazing food town, amazing coffee town. Stumptown coffee is incredible,
Cool.
and the food's great. And so I'm excited about places like Seattle, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, all good places with good food and good coffee and good culture. So, but
Sounds
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of in-between surprises. Asheville
Mm-hmm.
and Calgary and stuff. I'm sure I'll discover some highlights there too, or at least I'm hoping.
Yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about in particular? You wanted to get out?
Just thank you so much for your time. Really.